Welcome back to the 52 Weeks to Wealth. This is Wealth Principle 14. Wealth Principle 14 is focus on the 80-20 in sales and marketing. Now, the Wealth Principles are something we've been journeying through for the last 14 weeks. There's 52 of them. So every week we talk about a new wealth principle that is designed, wait for it, to double your income and double your net worth. Hands to the camera if that's something that you're interested in doing. You want to double your income, double your net worth. That means more dollar bills in your life right now. So 80-20, where did it come from? What is it and why does it work? Let's say this stack, there's 30,000 in each one of these stacks. There's 5 of them. So that means this stack here is 80% of the money. This stack here represents 20% of the money. So if I wanted to make the other 20%, I could do it if I invested in the right asset. Or I could invest like everybody else and invest this big chunk of money to get this little return. Hands to the camera if you know a bunch of people who'd love to get a 20% return. That would be amazing for them, right? Well, in this group, 20% is snooze money. It's put me to sleep money. Hands to the camera if you've done better than 20% before. Who here knows somebody who's done at least 50%? Awesome. Excellent. So we've done investments that return inverse, that we put this money, we put 30 grand in and we're able to pull out $120,000. Hands to camera if you'd like to learn about that. You'd like to learn about that kind of investment. Awesome. Excellent. So you were in the right call. Alchemist Nation is designed to build millionaires. We're 100 millionaires, inspired to build 100 millionaires. Anybody got the shirts on with names on deeds, mission of millions? Oh yeah, there we are, 100 millionaires. Dr. Tara Wager, you got it. So the community, the tribe, is 100 millionaires inspired to build 100 millionaires. Now, why would we do that? Why would we want to build wealth? Does anybody, can you think of a reason why wealth would be important for you? Drop it in the chat right now. What is just one reason, use one word that would inspire somebody to build wealth? It could be freedom. It could be I was alluding to earlier before we started the call. Maybe there's some things in your life that you want to get unkinked. Maybe having a little extra money would allow you to go out and spend some time with family. Maybe it'd allow you to spend some time with friends. Maybe you could spend money on your spouse or go on a vacation. Time freedom, impact. I'm reading the chat now. Traveling. Well, hello everyone. So there's a lot of things that money can buy. There's a lot of things that money can buy. There's one thing money cannot buy. There's one thing money cannot buy. And that is once you're dead, like money can't bring you back from the grave. It's the only thing on the planet that money can't buy. Now, people say money can't buy love. They've not been to Las Vegas. That's as good as the jokes get. So who here has never seen me speak before? I see there's 60 people on the call. So if you've never seen me speak, my name is Walter Morello. I wrote the book Broke to $250,000, which in the beginning when I was investing, I was more than just financially broke. I was emotionally broke. I was mentally broke. I didn't have, in relationships, I wasn't very good. I was really a taker. And then maybe I graduated being a matcher. But it wasn't until I became truly wealthy where I found that givers are the ones who do well. And I didn't find that until I was ready to give my life up for a cause. Has anybody ever watched a movie or felt like inspired, so inspired that you would give up anything to see that experience come true? Like maybe you have a child. Anybody have children? Seen children? Know what children look like? Awesome. So imagine your child is in a situation where they're in pain. They're in deep pain. You would give up just about anything to take them out of that pain. Is that fair to say? You would, whatever it took, you'd make sure that they were back to a good state. Well, it's the same thing. This whole building millionaires came from a very selfish place. I needed a reason to stick around. I was, tired with life. I went through a deep, terrible divorce. I was worth less than the money that I was born with. By the way, babies are born with $0. I was worth less than $0, thanks to the amazing way I was learning how to leverage money. They allowed me to go even deeper into debt beyond what my assets are worth. And if you recognize, you need assets. Assets are good, yes. Well, your emotions are an asset as well. And so emotionally, I had lost everything. Physically, I had lost everything. And in that bottom moment, I had a decision to make. And the decision was, what am I going to stick around for? Why am I going to stay here on this planet? What am I going to believe in that's deep enough to keep me motivated to keep doing things every day? And the answer was to be able to, if I could figure out money, I would one day teach people how money works, so that anybody who was ever suffering the pain that I was suffering from not being able to do what a man's supposed to do, pay for the bills, take care of their spouse, give them the ability to go in and experience different experiences in life. Anybody who's suffering that pain of not having financial freedom, I would one day be able to teach and share my process. And that excited me. It got me excited. This has been the result of 5 years since that moment, actually more than 5 years, probably 7 years since that moment where I realized like I couldn't live for me anymore. I had to go after something big. I had to go and support others in building their wealth. Answer the camera if something I have said at some point has helped you build some wealth. You made some money or you got a good experience out of something. Awesome. Excellent. Give yourselves a round of applause. You're in the right place, the right room. So I was motivated. Now, return on investment. Let's say the return on investment in that moment, that divorce created a huge opportunity for me. But how do I turn $30,000 into $150,000? How do I turn $30,000 to $150,000? Think about this. And we're going to do an exercise afterwards. But first, I want to tell you a story about a time that I took. It wasn't $30,000, it was $3,000. I took $3,000 and I put it into something called marketing. Has anybody heard of marketing? Anybody have a business where you spend money, time, resources, and in hopes to getting something back, right? So I took this $3,000, I rolled it into marketing. And at first, no return on investment. I was traumatized. I was distraught. I was disgusted. Has anybody spent money on marketing and found the same result? Has that happened to you? Excellent. If you haven't had that result, you probably haven't spent money on marketing. In the beginning, marketing can be stressful. It can be painful. It can cause so much anxiety because you don't know if it's working. You don't know how to track it. But then I got a little bit better and I started following up on the leads that had come through from my original marketing campaigns. Hundreds of leads from $3,000. The time was somewhere around, I want to say 2018. Ron and I had just started our business, Agent Alchemist, and we were teaching people how to invest in real estate and teaching agents how to become entrepreneurs. And this money was just like spent, easy to spend, but it was spent on ads and a marketing funnel that generated motivated sellers, like people who wanted to sell their homes. Hence, if you know you could make money if you had enough of those, enough people who want to sell their homes, you could probably buy a house at a discount, right? So we also had our real estate licenses. So we ended up with all these leads. I started following up. I started door knocking. I started cold calling. And I started having conversations with the people that the marketing campaign had connected me with. I started going on appointments. We started locking things down as agents. And then we made a couple of purchases. Now, one of those purchases ended up being a property that we sold for a profit of, wait for it, we sold for a profit of $30,000. $30,000. Now, the initial investment was $3,000 in marketing. This was a property that came to us from, I want to say a wholesaler, just in like little costs, little things that we did. Now, $3,000 to make $30,000, that's more than a 20% return. That's more than a 40% return. That's more than a 60% return. That's 100% return, 10x return on investment, 10x. But it wasn't for a year that I got that return. Can't scare me for catching this. I had to do some work. I had to do some follow-up. I had to make sure that my marketing was working. I had to go and lock something down, like we were talking about with Deb earlier. I had to seize an opportunity that was put in front of me. So 80-20, it shows up in everything. Pareto Principle is a principle that most people have heard of if you've read any self-development book. Hence, if you've read a self-development book and you've heard of the Pareto Principle, the 80-20 rule. Yes. So I'll revisit it very quickly. The idea is that 80% of your results are going to be derived from 20% of your efforts. On the other side, 80% of your results will only provide 20% of your rewards. So, well, 80% of your efforts will only provide 20% of your rewards. So in life, in order to notch or level up, you would just adjust the 20% that you're doing. Cut out 80% to do more of the 20%. And over time, you'll identify again that there is an efficiency within that new activity that you're doing. One powerful example would be that agents out there. Who knows a real estate agent? Anybody know a real estate agent? Agents do something that bothers me as an investor. They lock down great deals and they put it on MLS and they don't close on those great deals. That to me is so disturbing. When there's an amazing deal that they could flip or they could buy and rent, they just let it go. And so money is left on the table. Average agent's income is somewhere between 36,000 to 65,000. But if they did one flip, that would double their income. Does that make sense? If they flipped one property, it would double their income. And if they bought and hold that same property, they could retire. If they just did one of those a year for 5 years, they could retire in 5 years, a millionaire, and never have to work again. But agents are sold. They're sold a concept of just list property. One day you'll be able to sell your business and that's how you're going to get rich. You just sell enough property and maybe you pile up the cash in a 401k. Agents aren't really given a retirement plan. Anybody know an agent who's just doing this? They're in their 40s, 50s, 60s, still selling houses. Like, agents don't actually have a retirement plan. And yet they do what their broker tells them, which is go sell more houses and make sure that you put some money aside because you don't have any retirement plan with the brokerage. 80% of agents do this, but there are 20%. Hence, Cam, if you're a licensed agent who's also a real estate investor. Licensed agent, also an investor. Oh yeah. Then you got us, where we spend 20% of our time locking down deals, 20% of our time focused on doing deals that generate more income, focused on the cash flow, the passive income investments. And that provides 80% of our results. Now, emotion-wise, you have a limited amount of resources in your body as far as how many laughs you can have in a day, how many smiles you can have in a day, how many decisions you can make in a day. Willpower. Who's read the One Thing? Gary Keller's book, The One Thing? He talks about willpower. There's a limited amount of willpower. There are some activities that drain your willpower, and there are some activities that allow your willpower to continue on, and they take very little cost. And then there are some activities that actually recharge your willpower, revitalize your willpower. And so it's important when you're looking at the 80-20 to identify your energy sources that will increase your energy. One of those may be the 52 weeks to wealth. So right now, every week you're jumping on this call, probably because your energy is increasing every time you're getting on. Hands can't be recognized. When you're on this call, you seem to have more direction. You seem to have access to more people. Your energy level has increased, and you have an opportunity to go out for the rest of the week with this new lesson, with this new memory, with this new energy, so that you can be a new person taking new actions, doing your 80-20. So energy. There's the 52 weeks to wealth. There's also our routines every day. There's a routine where you can intentionally schedule a call with somebody who might have an opportunity for you. Make it 10 o'clock. I do it every day, 10 o'clock. I'm on a call with somebody who might have money for me. This is a call that's reserved for somebody new money every day. Hands can if you're catching this. Right? New money every day. There should be an opportunity. 80-20, that one call, if it's not scheduled, I'm missing out on an opportunity. But if it is scheduled, automatic, I don't have to have willpower because it's not a drain. It's just a decision that shows up every single day. But if you had to schedule, if you had to hold yourself accountable to doing it, then it would pull on willpower. And willpower doesn't like confrontation. Willpower is immediately drained by a thought of confrontation. Willpower is drained by decision making. Has anybody ever had a moment where they didn't know what to do about something and it made them tired? They just weren't sure. After thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, you're just exhausted. Yeah. Has anybody ever played a game that made you think a lot, but you could play for hours and hours and hours and endlessly never be exhausted? Has anybody played a game that was really engaging, right? Used your your brain power, but it didn't use your willpower. So there are things that can charge us like wins. Getting little wins recharge our willpower. They revitalize us. So setting yourself up with some wins in your business, setting yourself up wins in your day, setting up yourself with wins in your relationship. Doreen, every time I see Doreen, I make sure that I cop a feel, or I make sure I get a kiss, or I get a hug. Right? This is part of my life, is every day I get to experience a little bit of love. Those are wins. Hands to camera if you know you could do that. You can do that with yourself right now, right? Every day I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, damn, looking good. I so appreciate your presence, your experience. It's great to see you again. Identify with your mirrors. Guys, I've heard horror stories of people with their mirrors, right? Every time I walk by the mirror, I just realize I'm such a piece of shit, or I feel so terrible, or I'm out of shape, or I'm out of weight, whatever. I want you from now on, a mirror. Hands to camera if you're ready to do an exercise with me, doing something that's going to change your life. This is an 80-20 of the 80-20 of the 80-20 right here, okay? Every time you see a mirror, I want you to look at yourself. I want you to identify the one thing about you that you love more than anything else about you. For me, it happens to be my smile, or it happens to be my eyes. Shit, everything about me I love. I fall in love with me every time I see me. I want you to have that experience. Look in the mirror and just be like, man, everything about you right now is perfect. Look at your Zoom room right now. Look at yourself on Zoom. And I want you to identify yourself right now as the greatest, right? Like the model, like all of these social media, all the platforms should be modeling after you, right? Look at the way your hair is set, your nose is at, your eyebrows, your smile. Like even if you're not smiling, your frown, like even that's cool, right? Like that should be a thing. Imagine every time you walk by a mirror, you come up with that energy of, damn, like I am the standard for attractiveness. I am the standard for energy. Imagine just how powerful this is. Every time you see yourself in a mirror, you recognize that you are the standard for the greatness of human beings. Hands to camp, if you could do this, if this is like, you know, this would juice you up, right? Hell yeah. Why not? Why not? Come on. All right, so we lock down energy. We know we got a couple things. We know 52 weeks to wealth, be here every single week. If there's a moment during the week where you're not feeling that energy, turn one of our videos on, right? Go to Facebook, go to Mighty Networks, Alchemist Nation, turn one of our videos on, watch for 5 minutes, get the juice again, get motivated. Whatever it takes, your life is so important. Don't let anything take away from you. Don't let a bad moment for 5 minutes pull you into a depression. It's going to pull you away from your goals. Just switch on an audio, switch on a video, go read a book, do something that one of the coaches or one of us in Alchemist Nation has put together as an energy resource so that you can get onto the next activity. And if you do something like names on deeds, right? Next activity is lock down a relationship that has money. Like, so Deborah had earlier, she had a situation where she didn't have the money to close a deal. Lock it down. People are asking me right now, what do I invest in? What is my 80-20 investment? I'm investing in my business. Right now, hardcore, everything is all about the business. It's about driving more, how to build more assets, how I spend more money on marketing, what kind of marketing am I doing, how do I get more people through. Building 100 millionaires, inspired to build 100 millionaires is fun for me. It's exciting. It's my mission to millions. It's how I'm going to build millions of millionaires. And Mission to Millions, we're going to talk about next week. We're going to teach you how to get your passion tied to your purpose, how you make money, what the result for you is going to be. The reason we do it all is because if we don't, nobody else is. There's nobody else out there who's doing the abundance training from an ethical, moral, legal standpoint and teaching the 52 wealth principles. This, what we have within this community, I realized is something unique, because I would not be doing it if it wasn't. Hands to camera, if you know, I like to relax too. I like to do other things. I like to invest in things that, you know, make money. But this right here wasn't being done. Nobody was teaching it. Nobody was reaching out the way we reach out. There's a lot of coaches out there. There's a lot of gurus who go out and build these businesses because they did one deal and they think they could teach that deal now, or they did one wholesale and they think they can be wholesalers, or they did one marketing campaign, they think they can be marketer teachers. Who's seen these guys? You know, they're on YouTube. Hey, I got a course that you can buy and you can become this is all my students are making $30,000 a minute. Look at all the dollars they're making. is a lot of gurus out there, right? Everybody's a freaking guru. Everybody's a coach, but they're not doing what we do. We actually make money. We actually do deals. We actually teach and put people through a process that makes them millionaires. No coach is saying, I build millionaires, because they don't give a shit. They don't care about your results. They just want to get paid to coach. Does that make sense? They just want to teach. That's why the coaches that we use, the coaches, the mentors, they're focused on one result. Doug McGurk, anytime we do an event together, Doug says, what is the goal? What do we want them to walk away with from this? By the way, this is part of your exercise. I want you to do what we do in our business to make sure that you're doing this for your customers. This is your 80-20. What is the result you want your client to walk away with from a transaction with you? Real estate agents, maybe it's buying a house and bringing you more clients to buy more houses. Real estate investors, maybe it's renters that absolutely love paying you rent. I had a tenant the other day who texted me fighting to keep paying me rent because we did a rent increase, and the tenant was like, I want to stay paying. Like, where do I put the money? I want to keep it going to you guys. So what was the end result that I want my client to experience? So me and Doug, we had this conversation every time we build a new program, every time we do an event, is what is the experience we want Alchemist Nation to have when they come to one of these events? And the answer is always the next level in becoming a millionaire. What are they missing at the moment? And we create an event to solve that problem. If for us, I've heard from numerous people in the community, motivation. Hands down, if you've ever lacked motivation, if motivation has ever been a thing where you're just like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to make that call. I don't want to go and spend that money. I don't want to make that investment. I don't want to get out of the house today. Motivation. Where does it come from? What is the 80-20 on motivation? And I could tell you it's a big why, just like Simon Sinek says, you got to have a big why. I could say that, but I'd be lying. You have to have a purpose. You have to have a powerful purpose, a reason, which is a why, yes, but a purpose is tactical. Purpose actually does something. A why is more of an emotion, an idea, but a purpose is something that can become profitable. Right? It's something people would pay you for. Right? Hands scanner, if you've ever paid me money for something that I've provided on some level, somewhere, somehow, you paid me money, something. Hands up. Shit, everybody on this call has paid me money at some point. Even my assistants, all my virtual assistants in the Philippines, I may pay you money, but you are paying me far more by bringing in clients that I can work with. Hands scanner, if you're catching this, right? People I can serve. Yes. All right. So the concept of making and paying and giving is all based on purpose. What is the purpose? What is, like we talking about in cryptocurrency, what is the utility of the token, right? If the token doesn't have utility, I want to invest in it. It has to have a purpose, has to have a reason to exist. So your business has to have purpose. And if it's got a great purpose, then people will want it. Has anybody ever had a moment where your phone died and you suddenly were like, I need a new phone? Has anybody ever had a moment? Am I the only one who like freaks out if just one of those phones goes down? Yeah, that's a lot of purpose. It's got your connections, it's got your family, it's got your friends, it's got your money, it's got your entertainment, right? It's got your education. That phone's got everything in it. It's highly valuable, high purpose utility. What about your business can be high purpose? We ask all the time in Alchemist Nation, what is it that we can do to pull out the problem that's stopping them from becoming millionaires? What is it that's stopping them today? Because yesterday it's a different community, right? Every one of you who's been with us for more than a year, who's been in Alchemist Nation for more than a year, been through the mentorship, you've graduated, been to the 100 Millionaire Summit. Awesome. So the 100 Millionaire Summit is another strategy that we've used to build millionaires. If you don't have the money that you want, this may be something you want to write down. If you don't have all the money that you want, it's because you don't have a relationship that is built with the person who has the money. The money that you want is in the hand of somebody else right now. Right? Doreena's got the money there. The money that you're looking for is in the hand of somebody else. You've just got to build a suitable relationship with that person to acquire their cash, to get them and to be inspired, to give them enough purpose to give it to you, right? I said it earlier, there's a lot of money in the market. There's so much money. There's so much money right now. Bring me a deal that's going to double my money. I'm going to get the money for you. And scam, if you bring me a deal that's going to double $1 million, I will give you the $1 million to double the $1 million. I made a post on alchemistnation.com the other day. I said, what strategy would you use if somebody I was being secretive. I said, what strategy would you use if somebody gave you $1 million right now to get the $1 million back in their hands and double it? And how long would it take you? And there were dozens of strategies that came up, and I loved most of them. I'd say 80% of them were very good. There were 20% that was just shenanigans. It's not going to work. I was very clear about why those wouldn't work. Imagine if you looked at every moment of your life, you're looking for $1 million ideas, and then you just did them. Imagine you were just looking for $1 million ideas, did them, locked them down, and then went collect the money. Ask Karen if you know you'd be a multimillionaire by now, right? If every day, that's $365 million at the end of a year. Ask Karen if you can think of $1 million idea right now. Who's got $1 million idea right now? Knows an idea that would make $1 million? Yes. Who would like $1 million idea right now? Who would like to borrow one of mine? Yes. I'll give you the easiest one I've ever done. Buy something. Actually, okay, I'll give you one I have done, personally done. Buy something that is worth $2.5 million, right? $2.5 million, so half, 2.5 million. Buy it. Oh, that's the wrong finger. All right, buy it for $1 million, right? So we bought a property that was worth $2.5 million for $1 million. Here's what you can do right now in this market. Buy a property worth $5 million. Diana knows this one. Buy a property worth $5 million for $4 million. That's how you make $1 million. You make your money on the purchase, right? You're not going to pay any taxes on the purchase. Right? Now you have $1 million in equity. Do whatever you want with it. Borrow against it, sell the house, sell the building, take the money out, pay taxes on it, whatever floats your boat. You can take a home equity line against it. You can collect cash flow from it. Ask him if you know a $5 million property is going to throw some cash flow to you, probably throw off around $10,000 a month. Absolutely. Rents should be, if in a good deal, rents should be $40,000 to $50,000 a month. And maybe you get to keep about 1/3 of that, 1/4 of that in the beginning while there's debt on the property. 80-20 principle. Let's do an exercise. What is the one thing? I want you to write it down. What is the one thing right now that is earning you the most money? Write down the activity, the moment, the activity, the one thing. We're on the 52 weeks to wealth, right? This is by far the one thing that motivates me enough to keep coming back, to keep building trainings, to build the website, to build the CRM, to build out the finance company, the insurance company, the agency, to build out this millionaire building process, the coaches, to inspires me to keep going out and talking to coaches. If it wasn't for the 52 weeks to wealth, seeing your faces on these cameras, I would not still be doing it. I know what my motivation is. I know what drives me. It's each one of you. Seeing what your goals are, seeing what you guys are looking to do in life, hearing your stories. If it wasn't for having alchemistnation.com built, where I can now see your challenges, when you're posting challenges, posting wins, I wouldn't be motivated, right? This right here is how I find my business partners. 11 businesses right now. We got 11 businesses, all from people who have been through our mentorship. They pay us the $2,000. We go through the process, 8 weeks of kicking them in the butt, teaching them how to think like a millionaire, reading 5 books over 8 weeks. And if you know people who haven't read 1 book over 8 weeks, you know that's true. In the mentorship, our students go through the foundational 5 in 8 weeks. All 5 books are read. And most of them start the 52 weeks of wealth. They start reading the 52 books, where Mike Shine's sharing the book of the week each week. Now, the reason they're successful, the reason we start partnering with them is because we have some rules in the mentorship. Hence, if you'd be interested to know what the rules are within the mentorship. Awesome. For our mentors, our graduates, you know what the rules are. Every week, we do our net worth tracker. We track our net worth every single week. Some people forget to do it. I give grace and I send the reminder. We have Ryan McDermott, our financial planner, who reminds them why it's so important to track their net worth. Then after that, we talk about the book of the week. We discuss one of the books. We have a video we watch each week. There are 8 videos in the mentorship. These videos are designed to motivate you and teach you exactly what it takes to be successful. There's a training on goals. There's a training on motivation. There's a training on abundance. There's a training on, wait for it, get rid of broke people. Get rid of your broke friends. Getting rid of the friends who are holding you down. We talked a lot about that last week when we presented Dunbar's number. There's only 150 people in your life that you can actually have a deep relationship with. 80-20 of that, since we're doing the 80-20 principle, is 30%, 30 people. 80-20 of that 30 people is 6, which is your ego, it's you, and these other 5 relationships. Those 5 people are going to leverage them the most to change your life. You're the average of your 5 closest friends. Yes, Kim, you've heard that before. Now you understand why that's true. It's the 80-20 of the 80-20 of the people you have close to you. The mentorship has one more rule. That rule is that we do everything morally, ethically, and legally. That we ask our mentors, we ask our coaches what to do next. We don't necessarily ask how, we ask who. Because how is a good way to do a lot of work. Who is a good way to make a lot of money. All right, who's read the book, Who Not How? Anybody read that book yet? All right, it's floating around the community. We may add it to the 52 weeks, but the concept is strong. If you're in here, 80% of your work is not producing the results. The 20% that does, it's the conversation with somebody else. It's a conversation with somebody else where you're offloading some of that work. Has anybody ever hired a contractor before, or a real estate agent, or an attorney, and they did all the deal for you? Yes, just imagine a world like Ron and I live in, where we have an event like this. By the way, this is why the 52 weeks is so valuable to us. We have an event like this. We teach people in the mentorship. We have our students. They walk through a deal. They can't swing alone. They ask us to jump in. Now, we're partners with somebody who we trained to do things the right way, who we trained to be moral, trained to be ethical, trained to do things legally. And now we're partnering because we have the capital and probably some really good knowledge that they're looking for in the deal, or experience. A lot of our students will use as key principles. And I'm not the only one. There are 10 other millionaires, 12 other millionaires within our community who are all investing in deal. Actually, there's probably about 30 of us now, 30 millionaires between the mentors and the coaches who are investing in other people's deals. Hands to the camera if that's a good reason to join a mentorship. It's not just about, oh, I'm going to get knowledge. I'm going to get some digital courses. Dude, I give my digital courses away for free. Who's been on Alchemist Nation before, seen all the free courses, right? 35 plus free courses, digital course. You can watch that content whenever you want. I give that away for free. These other coaches, these gurus, they're charging $100 for their one video. They're charging $500 for their online university. Not that I want to talk smack about all of my friends in the space, but come on, guys, like, you record it. You don't have to teach it. Like, it's perceived value. There's value on the program. And I know there's a lot of coaches on here who do this, and I'm fine with it. I don't care. My point is that I recorded, I put the value out. I want you to get value from it. The mentorship is a conversation every week for 8 weeks. And then it's this call right here where we're talking about what is important to you. What are your goals? What are you looking to accomplish? The mentorship, we had to reframe it because we had a lot of millionaires jumping back into it, a lot of multimillionaires jumping back into it. So we changed the name of it a little bit. It's called the Jumpstart now. Hence the camera, if you can understand why a millionaire might want to jumpstart their business. They might want to jump back in, get a jumpstart, 8 weeks of accountability, 8 weeks of doing the net worth tracker, 8 weeks with their other millionaire friends, just being like, yeah, let's do this. What'd you win? What's your win? What are we holding you accountable to? So that's where the mentorship kind of evolved, and it became our clincher, our one thing, my 80-20 to build millionaires. It's the first step. Now I got other tools. I got other resources. I got other events like Mission to Millions, like Master of Influence, like Generator Business School, like the 100 Millionaires Summit, which is coming up in October, which everybody will be at, which, by the way, was designed to help you build your team, your tribe, so that people will be doing things morally, ethically, legally, motivated to build your company and grow your business, and so that they can increase their income, which means they're going to help support your business even more if they work in your business with your business. Does that make sense? Help you identify your partners. The 100 Millionaire Summit is not just an event to show up to. It is an event to show up to with your squad, to bring your people to qualify whether they're worth working with or not. If your attorney won't go to the 100 Millionaire Summit, they're not your attorney anymore. You know already, right? You know it doesn't make sense. If your agent won't show up to learn how to get more leads, to show up how to find properties for you at the 100 Millionaire Summit, if they're not going to show up, then they're not the agent you're going to work with. If your wholesaler won't show up and learn how to get access to more off-market properties for you, man, they're not the wholesaler you want to work with. Hands can if you're catching this, right? If they're not willing to go and learn how to level themselves up, if they're not training themselves, I wouldn't work with them. And that's how we've built all of this as a qualifier. Now, are there people within the community who snuck into the community who we haven't identified yet? We don't know if they're the right people to work with. It's possible, but I haven't met them yet. I haven't seen those people yet. For some reason, saying moral, ethical, legal, highly motivated, do things the right way, build millionaires, support each other. It's just a polarizing message that scares away anybody with a broke mindset, anybody with a negative mindset. We would catch it in their words. Who's seen the coaches call somebody out like, hey, don't use that word try. Don't use that word need. don't use that word I should. Don't should on all of us, right? Doug McGurk is known for teaching us the power of our language, but words to avoid so that we can be more empowering. You know, he's taught people how to speak so that not only are you speaking to others, so they're compelled to, we'll say, side with you, to do the thing that you would like them to do, assuming it's the right thing for them, assuming they identify that as the right thing for them. But he's also teaching people how to inspire themselves, how to start saying the right words to yourself so you do the right things. These celebrities don't have to be here doing this. They do it because they believe in the mission. They believe in the idea of building 100 millionaires. Mitch Dorsky, right? He's written multiple books on cryptocurrency, on rental property investment. These are the guys and gals who show up every Monday night in the mentorship to make sure that you're getting to the next level. Right? Michael Shine, a multi-millionaire, invested in Tesla. He's an attorney. What else you got going on, Mike? You own real estate. You've got multiple partners. He's the king of partnerships. Got a book coming out. In fact, he's also the keeper of the books. You got my business partner, shows up on every single call. My business partner is also a multi-millionaire and owns a bunch of real estate, owns a big tech company. You got Ryan McDermott, financial planner, owns a bunch of real estate, teaching financial wealth. Hands if you ever wondered why the rich don't pay taxes. You ever wonder why the rich don't pay taxes? You want to learn the process. Ryan McDermott is in the mentorship teaching people how to navigate the ocean of tax reform and tax ideas that the rich use so that we don't have to pay taxes. And the government, by the way, incentivizes us to continue playing the game the way Ryan teaches, because the government wants us to invest in businesses, wants us to create jobs, invest in housing, create housing. So they're incentivizing us. Dr. Terry Wager, the doctor of generating income, another celebrity, wrote a book called, what is the name of the book, Terry? Quit taking your own bad advice. Can somebody hold it up to the camera? Anybody have that book? There we go, Lisa. Great job.
Quit it.
Yeah. If I was at my house, it'd be on my shelf. I'm in a hotel traveling, undecided. It was not my choice today, Terry. So anyway, we've got some opportunities for you in the mentorship. I want you, if you know somebody who you'd like to do business with, you'd like to partner with, or you think that they would be good for us to partner with, have them sign up for the mentorship. Let's run them through the rigors. If they can't make it, you're welcome. We solved the problem for you. Don't do business with them. If they go through the mentorship and they're earning more income and they're more motivated and they're interested in doing business with you, you're welcome. I took care of you. Either way, this is how we build millionaires. We take normal people, motivated people, determined people, we put them into the mentorship and we see what happens. If they rise to the top, you know about it. If they don't make it through, if they a couple weeks in, they're just like, man, I don't know about being a millionaire. Good, we solved that problem. Got it out of their system. Hence, if you know, some people think they want it, but they don't actually want it. Not willing to do what it takes. You got to know the people you're hanging with. You got to test them through the fires. If they're worth your time, they'll rise to the top. If they're not, it's better to know now than try to build something with them and it falls apart and you've invested time and you've spent money, you put risk on the table. Hands can if you've ever been concerned that you might be investing with the wrong person. Has anybody ever had that fear, that feeling prior to the mentorship, right? It's like, oh shit, like, I don't know if, well, this is how you eliminate all of those issues. You can get access to the mentorship. I think you can just click the link in my bio, just go to mentorship at the bottom, or you can go to waltermerlo.com/mentor. Or if you don't know if it's right for you, talk to somebody who's been through the mentorship. Talk to Mark Dozwa, talk to Derek Knoll, talk to Frank Montero, talk to any one of our coaches. And in fact, Derek, do you guys mind dropping your links in chat, Calendly link? Talk to any of our mentors. Talk to Kimberly Rodriguez. Talk to Doug McGurk, Michael Shine, Frank Montero, anybody who's ever been through, and they'll let you know exactly what we're all about. So for everybody who's waiting for it, who's looking for it, who's anticipating, one of my favorite points of 52 Weeks to Wealth is the book of the week, presented to us by our holistic attorney, the man, the myth, the legend, the great Michael Shine. Mike, what is the book of the week?
Well, thanks, Walter. That was really nice of you to say. Book of the week this is an amazing book. This is called The 80/20 Sales and Marketing by Perry Marshall. And just at the start, true confession, if you've ever done the DISC profile, I'm a high I, which means I like to go to parties. I like to have fun. I like to look at things from like 30,000 feet, and sort of say, yeah, let's go do that deal. We joke around that I'm kind of ready, fire, aim. So this book is not necessarily for your high eyes. It's more for your C personality, because this is just like it says on the front, it's the definitive guide. Oh my God. Perry Marshall just goes through so many ways of using it. It's almost, for an I, it's overwhelming. But if you're like a C or a D, this book, you will just adore this book. It just has so much information on how to implement the 80/20 rule. And, I was listening to Ryan at the beginning talk about how he's implemented it in his life. And same for me. I look at the stuff that I do on a day-to-day basis, and I've cut out the 80% that just doesn't get me anywhere, and just focus on the 20%. And then when I take that 20%, I focus on the 20% of that, just like Walter was saying, you get down to the one thing, because the one thing is just 20% of 20% of 20% till you get down to that one thing. This book is huge. If you took this book and implemented what he says, Perry Marshall, your business, your life, everything would, oh my God, it would more than Grant Cardone 10X. It would like 100X. It's an amazing, amazing manual on how to jumpstart your life. I love it. Even as a high I highly recommend it. Book of the week, 80/20 Sales and Marketing. Thank you.
Let's give Michael Shine a round of applause. I will say, for the high eyes, the people whose attention span is really short, if you want to have a blast with this book, just hang out in the table of contents. Just go and read the table of contents and you'll get super excited by the prospect of just one of these chapters. How about this? Harnessing the natural forces of the 80/20, where the exponential power of 80/20 comes from. Just that alone, you're going to be interested in going and reading that one chapter. Hand scan if you catch this. Just play with the book. Just see what happens. And I guarantee you're going to gain something out of this book this week that you can implement. For those who are taking on our 52 weeks challenge, where you read a book every week, well, then you are going to take this book on. You're going to read it, and I know you're going to implement it in a powerful way. There he is, Aleem. Great job, brother. Just bought the book. Hell yeah. So for everybody who is in Alchemist Nation, who is aspiring to be one of us, an alchemist, somebody who builds others into more than what they start with, somebody who's building millionaires, somebody who's on the path to build millionaires, the secret to making a lot of money is to support the people around you. Build 100 millionaires, you too will become a millionaire. How do you build millionaires? Well, it's very easy. Present them to things that will build them wealth. Teach them, train them. If you can't teach or train, guide them to somebody who can teach or train, and they will forever be thankful, so that when they do become wealthy, they'll remember you're the one who presented that. Does that make sense? Be the one who brings them to the thing that changes their life. You get credit. You don't have to do the work. You just got to bring them to the thing that changes their life. That is the 52 weeks to wealth. Bring people here, and I guarantee you we're going to change their lives. We're going to impact them in a powerful way. Hands together if you've been impacted in a powerful way today in this one conversation. Excellent. Dorina, can you find out what Wealth Principle 15 is for me so I can share a little bit of knowledge on that? So Wealth Principle 15 starts next week. We're going to be back here at the same time.
Leverage the law of reciprocity.
Oh my God, you're going to love this one. Okay, Wealth Principle 15 is leverage the law of reciprocity, which is a universal law that states whatever you give, somebody will give back. The more you give, the more you receive. We're going to teach you how to leverage the law of reciprocity. Just like this week, 80-20, you're going to go through that exercise, and I want you to identify the 80% that you can cut out and increase, do more of the 20% that's been working really well for you. At this point, I want to open it up to our coaches, our millionaire celebrity coaches who have written books. By the way, if you've written a book, hold that book up to the camera right now so that our community can see those books. Awesome. If you haven't bought one of the books, you can find them on the website. Don't worry, you're not going to make the coaches any richer. We only make about $3 to $4 off the sale of our books. But what they could do is they could impact you in a positive way. They could make you richer. Let's give our coaches a round of applause, showing up every single week, being here with us. Awesome. Thank you, guys and gals. We're going to record this Q&A session. So let's bring everybody into the room. This is a point where even if you are not part of the mentorship program, even if you haven't paid me any money, we're going to bring you guys on camera so you can ask questions to our millionaires, to our multimillionaires. This is something we'll probably this may be the last week where we'll do this for people who are not part of the mentorship, just because we've got so many members now. We want to keep it tight. Hands to camera up, everybody who's in the mentorship, if that's cool with you. That makes sense. All right, keep it tight. This is your time. Awesome. So this 52 weeks to wealth will remain free for the people it's been free for. But Ron and I were talking about it this week. The only way to keep the quality going is probably to charge, to put some value on this course. So for everybody who's been in it, you're on today, you're good. You're locked. You got the link. We already set you up. You already know how to get here. For people in the future, we're probably going to charge for the 52 weeks to wealth. Hands to camera if you recognize it's valuable enough. We could do that. Yeah. So drop in the chat. What do you think it would be worth? Because we're building the landing page this week. Let us know what you think would be extremely valuable for somebody to be able to get into the 52 weeks to wealth and get access to this knowledge and get access to each one of you, which, by the way, you're what the real value is. Get access to you guys. And also, it's a little barrier to protect us from people who want to waste your time, because your time is valuable. So it's all about questions, comments, wins, shares. And then obviously I'm gonna have Doug talk a little bit about Mission to Millions, but I want to get some questions. If there's anything, concerns or things that you learned or things that you want to share. I also have Mitch Durfee is on the call, since he's one of those celebrities who just pops in randomly. I want to make sure I get his take on something. Let's open it up. What question you got? First person ask question wins, and go. Sandra, I see your hand up. Oh, go ahead, Vincent. You go.
No, ladies first.
Well, you said something in the beginning, and I was taking notes, but you said it really quickly. But you said 80% results, and then you said 20% something, and then you said something else. But it was really valuable, but it was so quick I couldn't actually write it down.
Excellent. 80% of your results are from 20% of your efforts, and 20% of your efforts can be improved to create 80% of your results. So if you cut out the 80% of efforts that you've been putting out that's not producing result, which, by the way, only way to know that is to track your results, track what's worked, what hasn't worked, cut out the 80% that's not doing much, and just increase, do more of that 20%.
Okay, so you said 80% of results are 20% of your results. And then what was the other statement you said after that?
80% of results come from 20% of your efforts.
Yep.
And then cut out the 80% of efforts that is not resulting in what you want, and increase what did do what you wanted. Increase the effort to what was working and see how that goes.
Cut out
keep
80% of
recalibrating.
your efforts for
That don't
20%.
produce.
Don't let 80% of
Wait,
us
so cut out 80% of your efforts for what?
produce 20% of results.
Sorry, I just want to make sure I have it. It was so valuable, and you just saying it so quickly.
Got it. So let me tell you in the story.
Well, no, just like
80%.
there's just the statement, like cut out 80% of the efforts, because I'm writing this down.
Okay. Dorena just dropped it in the chat. So don't
Perfect.
let 80% of your effort produce 20% of your results, right? Cut out whatever that piece that's producing almost nothing. So for example, most of us have fearful thoughts in a day. Most of us have times and moments where we're sitting down doing absolutely nothing productive. Those are still minutes in your day. And if that makes up 80% of your day, then you're not going to have a good time, right?
Yes,
Unless 20% of your minutes in a day are dealing with high leverage people, high leverage opportunities, then you can, by all means, sit on the beach for 22 hours out of your day if 2 of those hours are spent putting $1 million deals together. Does that make sense?
Yes.
80-20
and
is
it
a
was
function
really-
of the results.
And it's really funny because earlier today I was thinking about the like liabilities and assets, and how and it all is with people, like you said, emotions, environment, XYZ, but it's being very aware of that. Anyways, I'll let other people speak.
Yes, and I'll let Mitch Durfee, what you just said in the chat, brother, unmute, share that. I think everybody's going to get some value from this.
No, I mean, you're saying it right now, right? Like most days we fill our days up with a lot of different things. For example, for us, we're posting on social media a lot. We're creating reels. We're trying to get a large net of clients to be able to get inside this group so that we can help them. Excuse me. Just had some coffee this morning. But really, for us to jump on the phone calls and actually have those one-to-one conversations is really what actually gets us the biggest results, right? Like we can cast this net through social media all day, but that's really, we're spending 80% of our time doing those tasks when 20% of our time is actually getting us the conversions that we need. If you're talking about real estate deals, right? If we're on Zillow and we're looking through Zillow and we're hunting down these things, we're looking at properties and we're not really getting any actual deals done. But when we actually submit the offers, that time doesn't take that long to put an offer in. Maybe an hour to write up an offer and send it over. That's where we get the results. We should be putting offers in, not just searching for stuff. So
let's give Mitch Durfee a round of applause.
Go.
He said you can learn more on page 76 in his book, Serve to Win. Get it on Amazon. Use my link. Use my affiliate link. Awesome. What else? Other questions, comments, shares, something that you gained from 80-20, you want some clarity around it, or maybe you just want to talk about your business specifically.
I had a quick share and a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Vincent.
I had an appraisal on a multi-unit Friday in Cleveland. So before that, the property management company that is handling the building said, you might have a problem with one unit. So my contractor called me. They were going there and the appraiser called me. Like, I don't think we're going to do the appraisal today. I don't know what's wrong. Well, there's an armored vehicle and SWAT here. So I guess the one problem tenant wasn't letting it happen. So yeah, that's the share. And then I had another question. I'm getting a lot of like people with syndication deals and stuff. How do you research those? Like if something looked interesting, where would you?
Yeah. So with the syndication, obviously these people aren't very well documented outside of their own documents. So all you've got really to work with is whatever they send you. and you have to have a relationship with them. You have to have some history on what they've done. That's why, you know, people I choose to invest with are people who have a long-term like history. I like that they got a very strong social media presence, because that means that if something happens, everybody's going to know about it. So I really like deals with people who have a real presence out on social media, because they got a reason to do things morally, ethically, keep things, you know, together. And then history of experience. You know, they've got to have history of closing deals and having locked these things down and provide a return for their investors. And then obviously the deal. I look at the deal and I look at, what am I getting? You know, syndication is very good for people who are sitting on a ton of money and want to get a return. They're also very good for somebody who's learning how to syndicate. So it can be a very good idea to get into the business of, you know, if you want to be a GP one day and you want to raise other people's capital, maybe you should be an LP so that you understand why an LP would be a limited partner. So Vincent, there's reasons to do it. And the best way to qualify really is ask somebody else who's invested with them. You can ask any one of us. A lot of us invest with other people's deals and have been LPs for other syndicators. So ask us, you know, whether we've done deals with them, but use the community, use the mentors, use the coaches. That's what this is all about, right, Vincent? You get a tool here. So, and then at the end of the day, does it make sense? You know, does the return on investment, is it there for you? Does it lead you to where you want to go? Sometimes me and Mike, you know, we'll invest in people's deals. Mike is the one who taught me this. He'll invest in a person's deal just because he wants a relationship with that person. Like that's something that is another reason people invest in syndications. So something to think about. Let's give Vincent a round of applause. He's crushing it. Good problems, Vincent. You got opportunities coming at you, brother. Liam has a question in the chat. I see it. Dorina just pointed this out to me.
How do you track your results?
How do you track your results? Dr. Terry Wager, go ahead, brother. How do we track our results?
We use a pen and paper. It's very effective. You just write down what you were doing and then what happened, and you pretty much are able to see if you read it, go back and read it.
Don't you have a specialized tracker for the money in generator coaching?
We do. Tracking results really start with the end in mind. I was just kidding a little bit, but you start with the end in mind and you want to identify how much you want to make, and then you break down what it takes deal wise to get those amounts. And we have Generator Pro Max, which actually tracks what you're doing, what your goals are, what you're doing during the day to hit those goals. We also have other tracking tools, because the reality is when you're looking at growing a business, you want the smart side of your business to have the operations, the systems to be able to track what you're doing. It's kind of like a GPS. If you're not paying attention to where you're going, you get lost real quick. And so you want the 2 points, where you're at, where you want to go. We talk about the net worth tracker all the time. Every time we're in the mentorship, we talk about and suggest and even implore you to use a net worth tracker, and most people don't. However, you know, and the funny thing is most people don't, because they're afraid to see where they're at. But if you're afraid to see where you're at, you're never going to be able to get where you want to go. So you got to start looking at that, and you got to start letting the fear go a little bit and start getting a little more tactical. And so we at Generator Coaching use a bunch of these different tools, show you how to use them, show you how we use them. In our group, when we work with people, we actually fill it out while they do, because we know it's so valuable. So we kill two birds with one stone. But the reality is tracking is the most important. And if you don't have a tool like we have, get a piece of paper. It works.
Let's give Dr. Terry Wager a round of applause. And at this point, I want to make sure that my attorneys have asked me to let everybody know we do not kill birds in the mentorship. We do not kill birds in Alchemist Nation. So even though we did use the acknowledgement of kill two birds with one stone, kidding. If it does make money, we may kill birds at some point. So, Mike, I apologize. That got dark.
Pigeons.
So So Mike Shine is our local vegan holistic attorney. We also do not skin cats. Yes, very clear. But we do get the job done.
Skin cats.
We don't eat the elephant. There's a lot of things that we don't do. As long as it makes money, we'll do all the other things. Hence, can't for catching this, right? If it makes dollars, then it makes sense. But if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. What else? Questions, comments, shares. What is something you gained from hanging out with us? Go ahead, Julie Bradley. Julie Bradley, #1 bookkeeper of Alchemist Nation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I have a question. When we're talking about when you mentioned buying a piece of property worth $5 million for $4 million, and I'm assuming the value is based on the rent, and if the rents are below market, that's the opportunity to increase the value. So when you first buy it, if it takes you 1 or 2 years to get that million, is that attractive for investors, or like what do you do in terms of the wait time to get to the actual $1 million equity?
That is such a great question. Which one of the coaches wants to take this? Let one of the celebrities grab this one. Mitch, Doug.
Question specifically?
Yeah, what was the question?
Oh, so is it sexy? Is an investor okay with waiting 2 years to get their money back or get a return on investment? And I know a lot of syndications.
I have the perfect answer for that. You get a piece of no. It depends. It depends on what the deal is, and it depends on how you present your deal. Because here's the thing: everything that we're doing, we're going, well, will somebody do that? It depends on how you present it. If you go, give me a bunch of money and you got to wait 2 years and get it back, and you're not going to get much for it, well, nobody's going to do that. But if you
and Mitch has done syndications before. You've done these raises. How you guys aren't giving their money right away, right?
Yeah, no, a lot. I mean, we've had deals that we've been able to turn in 12 months, right? But those ones are typically reserved for joint venture partnerships, right? On the bigger stuff, 100 units, 200 units, 500 units, those things can take 3 years to cycle the deal because the unit's so much bigger. So when Walter talked about how to double $1 million, you need a bigger slice of pie, which is like 100 to 200 units to double that deal, right? If you're buying $100,000 units and you're trying to double the property value, you're only going to go up to 200,000. So it's hard. You have to do a lot of those deals to be able to double $1 million. Or you can go into a syndication deal where you can drop $1 million into the deal on, say, a property that's worth 46 million. And, you know, when you raise the value of that property, it's it takes a little longer to do, but it's one fell swoop, right? So it could take 3 to 5 years. Some of these syndications take 5 to 7 years. But it really depends on your risk aversion, how much money you want to put into the deal, or, you know, I guess what your goals are at the end of the day.
Well, I'm gathering Julie's question is also if she's doing a raise, right, Julie? So then you're wondering, how do you present it so that they are willing to put in the time to be a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it is. And really it boils down to, obviously, the deal, the transparency. What they don't want is if you say it's going to take a year and then 3 years later you're kind of going, well, any day now, that's going to be a problem. But if you're up front with it and the deal makes sense, then they may or may not. I don't think it's necessarily the timeline is only one of the things brought into the consideration. There's so many other things at play. It's not just time.
So a way to think about this is we have a deal that we're putting together, and it's a 80-page document of what we're doing, how we're doing it, who's involved in it, how people are going to be investing, how people are going to get paid back, all of these different things. 80 pages suggests it's a big deal. And the idea is people are going to invest based on what they're promised, why they want to do it in the first place, what the deal is intending to do in the grand scheme of things. And so when you're explaining all of the who, what, why, how, you're going to be attracting people that are interested in that deal, and for mine is a social impact deal as well. So I'm looking for people who are interested in social impact, not just earning money. I'll take those people who are just wanting to earn money, and there's a provision in there for them, but there's provisions for different people for different reasons. And then you have to show that it's going to make money or it's going to do something for them in some way. And so that's the sales pitch piece. And you got to think about what's in it for them all the time. And so when you're looking at one of these deals, I think we're going to lock up money for 2 years. And so in 2 years, they're going to start getting returns. But then you also explain exactly how they're going to get money in returns after 2 years. And so we're not going to go after people who need to get a return right away. That's more for a small multifamily kind of thing. We're looking for people who are in a long-term interested in the social aspect of what we're doing.
Love it. Let's give our celebrity coaches a round of applause. And Julie Bradley, because I can't help myself. I want to answer this in a way that's going to add value to everybody on the call. If you're looking to raise capital, be clear up front, you're not getting your money back for at least 2 years or 3 years or 5 years. Just ask for what you want. Like if you know you're doing a deal that's going to take 3 to 5 years to stabilize, be like it's a 5-year lockup period. Boom. Does that work for you or not? Like if not, move on. Don't try to sell a deal to somebody who just wouldn't be right for the deal. When we do investments, when we used to raise private capital at 12% interest to for short-term loans on our flips, I would tell them, I'm paying you 12%, I'm paying you monthly, and I'm looking to lock up the money for a year. If you can't do a year, I'm not doing the deal with you. And most people would take $100,000 and say, I'm getting $1,000 a month for a year. That's $12,000. I'll take that. They were very happy with that kind of return on investment at the time. Does that make sense? You know, I know so many people who still wish that we were offering that. We used to do 15%. We've paid, right? Mike Shine's like, yeah, me, sign me up. Mike was one of the guys that we used to borrow money from in the beginning. And if you have that context, you set that context up front with somebody. We've also had people do deals with us. Even Doreena's lent money on deals where there was no monthly payment. She was making 15%, no monthly payment. She got paid at the end of the project. I think one project took 1.5 years. So it just set the context just up front. Whenever you're borrowing money, this is how long I'm going to hold it. This is what the return on investment is expected to be. This is why we're doing it. This is what it works and looks like. And don't be afraid to walk away. There are so many people on the planet who have too much money that want to get it into real estate, that want to invest with you, that want a deal that is going to be managed well, handled morally, ethically, done legally with somebody who's not going to mess it up. That's a big concern. Awesome. Let's give everybody who's asked a question a round of applause. We do this every week, every Saturday, 10 a.m. If you miss a single week, it could be the one. It could be the week that you take on your $1 million idea. It could be the week you take on your partner. It could be the week that you implement the one principle that makes you a millionaire or multimillionaire. Go ahead, Mike Shine.
I just wanted to go back to the syndication for a second, because the syndications that I'm investing in as a limited partner, an LP, most of them have a 5 to 7 year hold. But because the market has been so great, they've been able to turn these things in 2 years. But when they disclose, they say five to 7 years, and I'm okay with that. So there's all sorts of different ones, but yeah. It's a
our syndications, we're doing the same thing, right? We're typically saying 5 to 7 years because we always want to, under promise and over deliver. So even though we're projecting that we'll be able to turn these units and get them leased up, increase rents within 24 months, we're always saying 5 years in case something happens, because it's a lot easier to ask for that time up front than it is to say, hey, we're at year 2 and we're going to need 2 more years to get these units cycled.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Let's give our syndication experts a round of applause. And if you didn't know, Michael Shine is the expert when it comes to partnerships. His book is coming out. No pressure, Mike, but I talked to Jen Sullivan this week. She said she was going to send you a reminder to get on a call to review the final steps of the book writing process.
I'm down.
We are getting close to be able to print that. Should be able to reveal it by the summit. For everybody on the call who is wondering how to get motivated, what's going to be at Mission of Millions, Doug McGurk if you can share very quickly what the information you guys are going to be delivering at Mission Millions, what time, what day, where it's located, how we get there, how do we learn about it. For anybody on the call right now on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, click the link in the bio for all my stuff. Buy something. Click now. Take action. Make more money. Get rich. Go ahead, Doug.
Well,
is that the best call to action? Of what? Share, like, subscribe. I got so bored of those.
Yeah.
Click the link. Buy something.
So it's a clear call to action for sure. So it's at the Florida Convention Center. I'm sure Dorina, it's already up there. There you go. Give Dorina a hand. Very nice on top of it. So Heidi and I have been, as you shared earlier, we've been working together doing these a variety of events for over 10 years together, and then individually 20 years at least. And this particular event, we're diving deep into like really who you are so that you can be sustainably turning your purpose and passion into prosperity. Because the challenge is sometimes we jump in and we're thinking, oh, we're just going to make some money. We're going to do this. But really, it's about how do you find your aligned spiritual highest calling, your purpose, your passion, so that you can continue doing when the going gets tough. So it's not just what you do, it's who you are doing it. And that's where we're going to really be diving deep into. So this is going to be more deep into just getting clear on how you can sustainably show up as your best authentic self that is going to translate and transmute into the financial freedom and beyond. Because by the way, it's not just the money, right? Because at the end of the day, you started this out. Why do you want the money, right? What does that mean to you? And it's more than just a bunch of pieces of paper with deceased notables on them. So we are here to help you become the absolute best version of yourself so that you can transmute your passion and purpose into prosperity.
Let's give Doug McGurk a round of applause. And Christina just said it in the chat. She said, that will help me a ton. I struggle with my why. Hands to the camera if you've ever questioned your why, or like not sure why you get up in the morning, not sure why you're doing stuff you don't want to do. That it is the single, since we're talking about 80-20 today, understanding your why, your purpose, your mission, what you're doing is the thing that gets people rich. Without it, you remain living the life you've been living at the level you've been living. Once you have your why, you become an unstoppable force of getting things done. It is the reason we've been able to acquire as much real estate, build as many businesses, build as many websites, and serve as many people that we have in such a short period of time. It's because the why is so big, right? My personal why drives me and drives others. Does that make sense? Christina, does that make sense? Like and for everybody who is on the fence to Mission Millions, it's 2 weeks away. It's 5 days away. Wait, how many days? We're literally 5 days away. It's in Orlando. Like some of you would have to get on a plane. Last year, people who signed up for Mission Millions signed up 24 hours before the event. We had people sign up 24 hours for the event, book a flight, book the hotel, and show up because they recognized how important it was to get their mindset right, to get their Mission to Millions locked in. Because from that day forward, from 5 days from now, once we start, so 8 days from now, once we finish, from that day forward, you're on fire. You know your purpose. You know why you're here. And everything you do, you can cut out. You can 80-20 all day. You can cut out all the stuff that doesn't get you to what you want to get to. Does that make sense? Right? If you're saying yes to things you should be saying no to, it's because you don't know your why. You don't know your purpose yet. If people are wasting your time, you got people in your life that you don't think belong in your life, it's because you don't know your Mission to Millions. If there's people who aren't helping you, supporting you to get towards your goals, aren't pushing you to get to the next level, it could be that you don't know your Mission to Millions. Does that make sense? Is that clear? Awesome. And if you don't go to Mission to Millions and you don't get clear, that is on you. That is a decision. That is 100% your decision, because I created the opportunity Doug is delivering up on the opportunity. We will be there to our community. I know we've already got 18 people registered. 22 alchemists are already registered. 22 alchemists will be at the event live in person in Orlando. This will be an intimate event. It will be very small compared to the 100 Millionaire Summit. But this is a very intimate event, so we can focus on you. Just like we did it last year. We only do this one time a year because it is very important. It is very intensive. But I'm very excited about it. For the 22 members who are going to be at Mission to Millions, going through the process with us. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for all the fire and passion that you're going to have in life to be able to move forward. And I can't wait for all the money that's flowing towards you once you lock it down and get yourself in that position. Once you have your mission, once you have your purpose in place, nothing can stop you from making money, because a motivated person is unstoppable. Hence, if you know, it's a burning desire that gets you everything that you're looking for. Who's read Think and Grow Rich? Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich? Yeah. The secret is a burning desire. Once you know your why, once you know your purpose, once you know your passion, once you know your mission, you become unstoppable. And Karen, if this week was valuable, if we know we're hanging in the right place with the right people, doing the right thing, next week, we're going to talk about Wealth Principle 15, be there or be square. The point is not to work, it's to generate income. That's why we show up every week, 52 weeks to wealth. Cheers to your success. We have a choice. Always work with the best.
With the best. Doug, where are you, Doug?
Woo!
The best.
Yeah, let's give all of our coaches a round of applause. Millionaires, celebrities, written books, been on stages. They got podcasts. They got shows. I love you guys and gals. Thank you for your dedication.
Got to do it again. We got to have some natural way of giving Walter a round of applause at the end of every one. He crushes it every week and then tells us to clap for ourselves. Nice job, Walter. There you go. Gets a hug from Dorina.
Get a hug. Get multiple hugs.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael Shine. I appreciate you, brother. Our holistic attorney. And for everybody who shows up every week, who is on the mission, who is grinding, who is learning, who's developing a more abundant self, who's going home after this call, implementing the thing we talked about, the 80-20 in their lives, who is going to, by the way, if you go and see your child, your spouse, your friend, your family member right after this call, please give them a big smile, give them a big hug. Let them know that they are important to you, and that you are a person who is doing big things in this world for yourself, for your community, for your family. 100 millionaires, inspire to build 100 millionaires. Happy Mother's Day, ladies. Thank you for everything that you give to us, for all the love and the support. And if you are a son or a daughter of an amazing mother, please make sure that they get a big hug and a kiss from you, and a text message at least, or a call that says thank you for everything that they've created, and everything that you're going to go and create because they existed, because they served you. Thank you, mothers. Thank you, ladies. Cheers to your success. We have a choice. Always work with the best. See you guys next week.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
G, are we doing our thing?
Thank you.
If I get service, when I get back, give me that 20 minutes to get back to the house. If I have service, Dorina says we're not doing our thing. She's cutting me off.
All right, next time.
Stand by. Let me go talk to the boss.
We'll just skip a week. It's okay.
Yeah?
Hi, Mitch Durfee. Good to see you, man.
Bye, bitch. All right. Cheers, guys.
Bye.